Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are doing the beginner's ultimate guide to the gym. So if you're new to the gym, then this is definitely the video for you. I'm going to go through everything to make you feel comfortable and confident in the gym. If you are not new to the gym, but you just want a bit more guidance, I mean, we're always learning. So this will be a great video, even if you are in an intermediate level in the gym. Still watch this video because obviously we're always learning, we're always trying to perfect our form, and you might just enjoy these videos anyway. So, but for whatever reason, if you want to stick around, then that's great. We're going to be doing a week of workouts after I talk a little bit about some gym basics. But yeah, so let's get on with the video. But just a quick heads up, I have become a Magic Mind ambassador. If you've seen my previous video, you'll know a bit more about this, but I'm basically trialing this product and letting you guys know how I feel on it. I've been taking this shot for around 2/3 of the month now, so around 20 days, and I'm still absolutely loving this product. I honestly see so many benefits from taking it. I've become so much more productive, which I really wasn't expecting. If you want to find out more, you can watch my previous video, which I'll put up there, but also remember there is a link down below, so if you use my link you'll get up to 56% off on your first subscription. So thank you guys. If you choose to support me, then that really means a lot to me. And yeah, so let's get on to the gym stuff. So let's just talk a little bit about what this video is going to be about. So this video is more about weightlifting. That is my personal preference of what I do in the gym. That's what I enjoy. I don't do a lot of cardio, I don't do a lot of Pilates or yoga. For me, weightlifting is amazing. I love it, I enjoy it, it makes me feel so much stronger. So why should we go to the gym in the first place? Why put all of this effort in? Why complete 4 to 5 workouts a week? So for me personally, the gym has definitely changed my life. I've become so much more confident. My mood is so much better than it was because exercise releases endorphins. It's just something that I personally love, and not everyone's going to love it, and that's fine. But if you want to better yourself in 2024, I would definitely recommend starting with the gym and being consistent, because you'll find there are so many benefits to going to the gym. So you're going to go into the gym and there are going to be so many different machines that you can choose from. And I would definitely suggest, if you're totally new to the gym, then just over the next 2 weeks, slowly become accustomed to each machine in your gym, get to know how they work, ask people if you need help, because it's always okay to ask people. Everyone is so friendly in my gym, and don't be afraid to ask, because we were all there once when we would look at a machine and go, oh my god, how the hell do I manage this? How do I rack it? How do I take the safeties off? And it didn't make sense, but you've just got to slowly get used to every single machine. And if you are feeling anxious, I would say just take a couple of minutes, have a little breather, maybe go somewhere quiet for a little bit and come back. If that doesn't resolve your anxiety, then maybe the gym isn't for you that day. That is the machines, and as we go through my week of workouts, I'll show you how I use the machines and what I use. Okay, so let's talk workout split. So the most important thing about going to the gym is that you need to be remaining consistent in order to see any results. If you are not consistent, then you're not going to see the best results you possibly can. So a workout split is basically what days or in what order you do your exercises. Glutes and hammies, so that's the posterior side of my legs. Quads and calves, so that's the anterior side of my legs. Push, which is chest, triceps, and pull, which is back and biceps. That's just personally how I like to work my body. A lot of people like to do leg sessions and upper body sessions where they basically just do a bit of all arms or a bit of all legs in one workout. That's fine for other people. For me personally, I like to be more specific in my workouts of what I'm actually training. That for me works. So my current split is quads and calves, usually on a Monday. Then I do push, then I do pull, then I do glutes and hammies. So I only do 4 workouts a week, and that for me works. A lot of people like to do 5, but for me that is way too much. It's too much of a strain on my body, and I don't feel like at the moment I need to be doing it for my program. So what do you actually need in terms of gear when going into the gym? Honestly, as a beginner, you don't really need anything. You just need to bring yourself and a water bottle and have a little bit of confidence, basically. But when you do advance, you'll see people using different things that help the person out in the gym. So examples of this are lifting straps. So these are straps that you just put around your wrist to basically support your wrist when you're carrying heavier weights. People use wrist straps when they're trying to increase the weight on a certain exercise, but their wrist strength is the only thing holding them back. So I personally do use wrist straps. They've really helped with movements like sumo deadlifts and RDLs for me. Lifting belts, so again, this is actually something I need to personally invest in. Lifting belts will help out with back support when doing deadlifts. Resistance bands, so for me, I personally prefer warming up with a resistance band, so I've always got a resistance band in my bag. And also you can use them to assist things like pull-ups when you can't quite achieve the body weight pull-up. But like I said in the beginning, you don't need to have all of this fancy equipment. You just need to turn up and see whether you actually enjoy weightlifting first. And then in terms of what to wear, so if any of you know my channel or you know my Instagram, you should know that I'm absolutely addicted with Honor Active, which is a clothing brand from the UK. All of their clothes are so comfortable. I'm literally wearing full Honor right now, just lazing around in the house. But the confidence that their sets give me when I'm in the gym is just out of this world, not like any other brand I've ever tried, and it's always comfortable. I can always rely on it. I literally have had products from them for years because they've lasted this long. For me, that's just my personal preference. That's the gym wear that I like to choose, but I would say just wear something that makes you feel confident, whether that's layered up, whether it's taking off the layers, doesn't matter. Nobody's really looking at you in the gym anyway. Okay, so let's talk about how we structure our workouts. So first of all, there are two different terms that you might know of, which are sets and reps. So reps are the number of times you complete an exercise during one go. So for example, I could do 10 squats and that would be 10 reps. A set is then just a collection of reps. So you'll see people say they did 3 times 10. So that means they did 3 sets of 10 squats. Simple as that. You can do different types of sets in order to achieve different goals. So for me personally, I like to do a lot of pyramid sets, and you'll see this in my workouts. This is basically where I start off with the littlest weight and the most reps. Then I go up to a bigger weight but less reps. Then I go up again to a bigger weight and even fewer reps. And that is a pyramid set. I use those for my compounds because that is how I train to achieve progressive overload, which is super important for progressing in the gym. So progressive overload is basically where we're slowly increasing the intensity of our exercises in order to keep moving forward. Or you could just do straight sets, which is where you keep the same weight and you just do, let's say, 3 sets of that exercise. Or you can do drop sets, which is the opposite, where you start off, it's basically the opposite of a pyramid. So you start off with the biggest weight, fewest reps, then you go down to a lower weight, more reps, and then a lower weight, more reps. So I hope that makes sense. You probably will make more sense once you see my workouts, but those are the types of sets you can do. And then lastly, the most important thing to consider when going to the gym and training, and it's actually got nothing to do with being in the gym, it's nutrition. So basically, it depends on what your goals are. I would say if you're new at the beginning, you need to stick to your maintenance calories. That means you are eating the same as you are taking out of your body, and that means that your weight is going to be the same. But the biggest mistake I see people making is not eating enough protein when they're going to the gym. If you don't eat enough protein, you're just simply not fueling your body enough to be able to progress in the gym. So when we go to the gym, our muscles actually tear, and that's how they grow bigger, and then they feed off the protein that we put into our body in order to grow bigger, which is called hypertrophy. So if you aren't eating enough protein, then you're simply not going to achieve that as well as you should be. So the recommended amount of protein is 2 grams per kg of ideal body weight. So that's not the weight you are now, that's the weight that you ideally would like to be. So for me, ideal body weight's around 70, so I have 140 grams a day. Simple as that. and you've just got to be consistent and dedicated with that. I've got loads of other food videos if you guys want to check out for any ideas on how to eat a high protein diet. But let's get into the workout. So the first day is quads and calves, and I'm doing a dynamic warm-up. So this is where you basically do a set of exercises to slowly warm up your body into your workout. Dynamic meaning that we're moving during these exercises. I do 2 rounds of this, and I start off with 10 regular squats. Then I'm doing 10 forward leg swings and moving on to the other side. So always make sure you swap sides. Then moving on to lateral leg swings, which is basically just the same movement but on the side. And this is just really good to warm up all of the areas of the legs. It's going to make sure that when we squat, we are so much more ready for it. Never ever skip a dynamic warm up because you'll just injure yourself. So great tip if you're a beginner, safety bars. Put your safety bars up and test out the height of the safety bars with the barbell squat with no weight. Then we're going to go into barbell squat with no weight. So you're essentially just warming up to the exercise. We haven't put any weight on this barbell. And to be honest, if this is your first time squatting, then this weight might actually be enough for your entire set, and that's okay. Just remember, you're just working against yourself. Then moving on to a working set. So this is where we're doing the pyramid style. So we're increasing the weight but decreasing the reps. So my working sets, I'm going to do around 8 to 10 reps. And because I'm a very long-legged girl, okay, I'm very tall, I'm 5'8", I've got long femurs. So if you are a tall girly, then you're going to have to lean slightly forward when doing your squats, and that's just going to allow your legs to bend. That is totally okay. And also you might struggle with your squat depth as well. So for me, I like to try and achieve a 90-degree angle, and honestly, I'm still working to improve this. This is me failing. Don't worry if you fail, that's fine. That's what the safety bars are for. It's going to make you better in the future. Then moving on to our second compound. So a compound is where we're exercising multiple muscles in one go. This is a leg press, and we're doing what we call a neutral stance, which means the feet are hip distance apart on the press. Make sure your back is firmly pressed up against that leg press machine. This will make sure that when we're pressing the weight with our legs, it's focused on the quads and we're not causing any lower back pain. Moving on to a unilateral movement, so please do not neglect unilateral movements. They are so important for evenness of muscles on either side of the body. This is a short stance, forward lunge on a Smith machine. So what you want is your working leg is the leg in front, and then your non-working leg is back a bit. You want your knee to come down to the heel of the front leg, and that way we are targeting our quads. If your leg is too far back, you're going to be targeting your glutes. And remember, just use little to no weights when you're trying these exercises out for the first time, and slowly build up the weights from there. And then an isolation exercise, so this is a goblet squat. You're going to put a plate down, put your heels up on it, and by lifting our heels up, we're actually targeting the quads more. You're going to hold the dumbbell like this, and we're just going to go down into a simple squat. Make sure your knees are nice and straight and they're not splaying out, because that's how you can cause some knee injuries. And then finally, don't forget to exercise calves, because they make all of our exercises stronger on quads and calf days. This is just a simple calf raise, and I'm doing AMRAP. So that means as many reps as possible. This is just a really nice way to burn out the calves. Support yourself with a wall and just do some calf raises. Okay, moving on to our first upper body day. This is a push day. So remember, that's chest, triceps. So here I'm just doing my dynamic warm-up, so we're doing some pec stretches. Just push your arm back and I'm give a nice pec stretch. And then this is where I start using resistance bands. So these are called pull-aparts. So this is actually where we're gonna warm up the shoulders a bit, which are also involved in a chest and triceps day. So we're just gonna pull the band apart with our arms. And this is just a nice upper one. And again, we're doing 2 rounds of this to warm up our upper body. So first compound exercise, going to a plate loaded chest press. This is brilliant if you are very shy and new to the gym, because you don't need a spot like you do with a barbell chest press. So all you need to do is make sure that the bars where you're holding are actually kind of the same distance as just below your boobs, because that's how we're going to target the chest nicely. And again, this is a pyramid style, so starting off with minimal weight and doing as many reps with that. And then you don't want to bring your arms too far back because that's going to cause a lot of strain. So just at a nice level. And then plate loaded shoulder press, again, a really nice exercise. I love the plate loaded machines. Shoulder press, you don't need to come too much below your shoulders. It should be really a 90-degree angle. So just remember that, otherwise you are going to cause some shoulder strain. Then we're going on to another compound. So this is a dumbbell incline bench press. So essentially with a slight incline of your bench, you're going to be targeting more of the shoulders and the top of the chest rather than the lower chest. It's good to just make sure that we're exercising all of our muscles, and maybe the next week you would just do a flat chest press. But again, you don't need to be bringing the dumbbells too far down. Moving on to a unilateral movement, this is a resistance lateral raise. So you're just going to hold the resistance machine, and honestly, just use a very little weight for this. You don't need to have a lot of weight because it is really, really difficult. So you're going to grab hold of the bar, and with your working arm, you're just having a slight bend in the elbow and bringing your arm up, not past 90 degrees because we're not going to be getting much improvement from that. You just want to be going to around 90 degrees. And slightly lean over, and there you're isolating your lateral side of the shoulder more easily. Moving on to tricep extensions. So use the rope here because when you move your arms down, the rope allows you to move your arms against the side of your hips and keep your shoulders tucked in. And then moving on to our pull day, so dynamic warm up again. So we're doing 5 forward shoulder swings and then 5 backward shoulder swings. This is a nice pose to just stretch out the back, so just put your bottom on the back of your heels and lay your arms outwards. And then these are cat and cows, so you breathe in when you're curving up and then you breathe out when you're curving down. And what you want to do is kind of tighten up when you breathe in and then extend when you're lengthening. Okay, moving on to our compound. So this is barbell bent over row. This should be in every single pull session you do. So you're going to get the barbell and you just want to hold it shoulder width apart. You're going to slightly bend over as if you're about to do an RDL, and then you're pulling your arms towards your back. You want to think about your elbow going towards the pocket of your trouser. So you don't want your arms to be going out like this. You want them tucked nice in to your side. And again, we're doing pyramid style, so increasing the weight and decreasing the reps. Just make sure that your back is nice and straight when you're doing this exercise to prevent any back pain. This is my favorite. So this is a lat pull down, and essentially what you need to do is try and think about, again, your elbows being pulled in towards the pockets of your trousers. That's going to really engage your lats. And try to slow down this exercise just to make sure you're not rushing it. Unilateral movement, so this is a seated cable row. So again, it's the exact same movement with all of the back exercises. You want your elbow to come down, be tucked in towards your body and come down towards your pocket. And like I said, unilaterals are really important for making sure that our muscles are even on both sides. So it's really important to do this. Bicep curl. So again, we're using the rope because it's nice to be able to move the rope a little bit. You want your arms again to be tucked into your sides, and with the bicep curls, don't go down past 90 degrees because then you're going to activate the shoulders. And then finally, we're going to do some scapular pull-ups. So this is where you hang from a pull-up bar, and all you're doing is contracting the scapulars, and this will help improve your strength ready for a pull-up. Okay, moving on to the last day. I know this is a lot, guys. So this is the final one, glutes and hammies, my favorite day. Again, dynamic warm up, doing 10 squats. Then we're going to go into a deep squat to extension, which I absolutely love to warm up the hamstrings. Then Then hamstring scoops, so again, another love of mine. You're going to get such a nice stretch out of your hamstrings by doing this exercise. Finally, 90-90s, this is really good for the hip flexors. Okay, first compound, sumo deadlifts. I get so nervous to do these, but honestly, the thrill of it is so nice. So you're going to set up your barbell. Do a small weight at first, okay? You don't need to be doing too much. Feet should be more than shoulder width apart, slightly pointing outwards. You're going to then put one hand over the bar, one hand under the bar, and all you are doing is going down. When you go down, you want to pull your shoulder blades back, straighten your back out by contracting your abs. You're then going to breathe in, and then we're pushing up predominantly with our legs at first. We don't want to be pulling up with our back. You want your legs to be doing most of the movement. And then we're just going to go down and exhale and repeat the process again. So this is something I really struggle with, but I absolutely love them. Okay, second compound is an RDL. So RDLs are really difficult to perfect, personally for me as well. Feet need to be shoulder width apart. We're holding the barbell with both hands. All you're going to do is push your bottom out, come down to just below your knee for me, and then you're going to pull back up. We want our back to be completely straight here. Do not curve your back because you're going to cause a lot of back pain by doing that. Then we're moving up in weights. So one tip that I did here is when you're going down, you want to completely cover the floor with your feet. So you want to really spread your feet out. But when coming up, you actually need to focus all of the pushing force on your heels, and that's going to really help it target in your glutes. Okay, and then unilateral movement. So we are doing a Smith machine cable step up. So this is where you put a box underneath. You use your working leg on top of the box, and then the other leg is just going to hang down by the side. And when I mean hang, I do mean hang. It's not going to move much. You're going to come down, don't even touch the floor with it, and come back up. And essentially you want to literally just tap the floor with that non-working foot. See, for me, I know that I need to improve my form here. My hips need to be more centered and symmetrical. They're kind of slightly tilting over, and that's fine. This takes years to practice, honestly. Okay, now going into more of an isolation, dumbbell sumo squat. So again, same with the deadlift. Feet more than shoulder width apart, slightly pointing out. You're going to hold the dumbbell in between, make sure your back's nice and straight, and all we're going to do is lower to about 90 degrees and then come back up. And this feels really nice in the glutes. And finally, hamstring curl. So this is just the hamstring curl machine. You can see I've put my legs in, and then I've used the lever to go up. And then I'm making sure that my back is really pressed up against the back pad so that I'm not injuring my back. And then all you're going to do is slowly curl your feet down towards the floor. Nice and simple. So I hope that all makes sense there after seeing all of my workouts. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. But really, when you're forming a workout, you need only 5 exercises, I would say. 2 need to be compounds, so that's where we're exercising more than one muscles at once. So those are like your RDLs, your sumo deadlifts, your squats, leg press. Then you want to move on to a unilateral movement where you're working on one side of your body only. That's going to make sure that, again, your muscles are even on both sides. It's really, really important. You don't want to have an asymmetrical glute that's going to cause absolute havoc when you're doing your compounds. I then suggest to go into an isolation exercise, and you can either do 2 isolation exercises. You just exercise areas of the body that you missed out when doing the others. Or you do an isolation and then an AMRAP or a drop set, depending on sort of what level you are in the gym. That is personally how I train, that is how I love to train, and it's always worked for me. So yeah, I hope that all makes sense. Remember that my Magic Mind link is down below if you'd like to check that out. I would be really, really grateful if anyone bought from my link, because it would really help me with my partnership with the company. And I'll see you next week for another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe down at the bottom, and I hope you all have wonderful days.